All right, here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the free 15-minute noon mindfulness session. My name is Ally, and I'm really happy you're all here. Before we get started, the first thing, as always, I'm going to say is just the disclaimer that this class is being recorded, and you agree to take responsibility for yourself by attending and participating in this virtual class offered by Inner Fire Yoga, and you release Inner Fire Yoga and me of all liabilities. Okay, so thanks again for being here, everyone. We're going to do a meditation. And make sure you're in a place where you're comfortable. Yesterday, I did the meditation from bed. If you're in bed, great. I'm just on my yoga mat in the living room. We're going to stay seated for this one, and we're actually going to keep our eyes open for the majority of it. It's called a senses meditation. And I've also heard it called a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 meditation. I've seen it a couple times in the past few weeks. And it's really meant to be a grounding meditation to keep us in the moment in this time of uncertainty. So what I'm going to do is I'll explain the premise, and then I'll do the part, and then I'll give you guys a minute or two to do it too. There's 5 parts essentially. I don't know how long that'll take. Maybe we'll have an eyes closed meditation at the end. But again, it's a calming and coping mechanism. It's meant to ground us in the present moment where we are most at peace. Sometimes when we dwell in the past, we kind of get down, or if we think about the future, we anticipate and we get anxious. So this is, again, a mechanism, a tool to be really in the present by using our senses and being in our senses. So first we're going to look at our surroundings. So wherever you are, again, your eyes are going to stay open. You can be in a comfortable seat. And the premise is to use your senses to be in them, because that's one way to stay in the moment. So we're going to start with the 5. And the first thing I want you to do is look around, and you're going to note and name and maybe even reflect upon 5 things you can see right in front of you. So if I look around my apartment, I'm going to name and maybe reflect on 5 things that I can see. And one of them is this big red chair that I'm looking at that is full of stuff right now, but it's the big red chair that my family had growing up and that my old dog Scout would lie on. So it makes me happy to see that and knowing that it's with me. Another thing I see right in front of me is the book that I just finished and read called American Veda. And I think it's a book that all of you would actually really like, by Philip Goldberg. It's about how our culture has been infused and inspired by Eastern philosophies for centuries. It's a really inspiring book, but I see that right in front of me, American Veda. 3, I also see 2 plants in front of me. One is in a blue mug, a jade plant in a blue mug, and the other is a little cactus in a green mug. And I bought those from the Ecos Club at school to support the club. I also see board games right in front of me, one of which is called Code Names, also a game I'd really recommend, something I like to play with my family and friends. And the 4th, the 5th is, a softball, a random softball that I see. So those are 5 things that I see in my surroundings. I want you to take a minute or 2 to notice and name 5 things that you see, even if you want to reflect a little bit on what it means to you. And I'll try to stay quiet for your minute, but I will keep a timer. And if you are done early, just maybe sit and close your eyes and reflect on those 5, or maybe even keep your eyes open and look at those 5 things. About 30 more seconds for this first one.
Wendy, here, move over. We'll do it together. Oh, I'll do. Okay, set it down. Move over. I do. Maybe you do.
Okay, everyone muted. All right, take a moment to maybe finish your fifth thing that you see. You can always do this on your own again if I'm going too fast.
Ready.
All right. The next task is to identify 4 things you can feel physically. I suppose you could do this feeling emotions too, but physically will really ground you again in what is. So right now I feel the rubbery texture of my yoga mat underneath me, my foot. I feel the kind of terry cloth texture of this shirt, one of my favorite shirts that I got in Thailand. I feel that on my arms. Now that I'm using my hands, I feel the kind of slippery residue of the lotion that I put on not long before this. And I think that was 3. What else do I feel? I feel my hair on my ears. This is probably one of the few times you've seen me with my hair down, actually. So now take a minute or so to identify 4 things that you feel physically. I'll give you a minute for this one. I'd encourage you to name them out loud too. Take 10 seconds. I want to make sure we end in the scope of the 15 minutes, the short 15 minutes that we have. And finish up with that, hopefully 4th thing that you feel. And then we're going to move on to 3 things that you can hear. They get kind of trickier as you go on. So 3 things that I can hear is the, I don't know if that's the air conditioning unit that I hear, that kind of buzz. I hear the tick of the clock that I know is in the bathroom and is broken. And if I listen really carefully, I think I hear what are birds outside. So now your turn to identify 3 things that you can hear, and we'll maybe go a little bit quicker with 30 or 40 seconds. Now I hear some yelling outside, and I heard a hiccup from the other room, I think. All right, we are going to move on to 2 things you can smell. This one can be really tricky, and I kind of cheated. I lit 2 candles behind me because I knew I could smell them. So I can smell the scent. It's a really sweet scent coming from both those candles. One is oatmeal cookie, just again, a really sweet, pleasant scent. And then I know I'll have a hard time smelling anything else, but if I smell my hands, I can smell the lotion that I put on, that same lotion that I was feeling. It smells like a combination of cocoa butter and lavender. Okay, so 2 things you can smell. And don't be afraid to smell your clothes, your hands. You can also grab something that's close by. Take another 10 seconds maybe to find that first or second smell. And then, last but not least, you identify one thing you can taste. So I can taste whatever the aftermath of coffee tastes like. It doesn't really taste like coffee, but it's that taste that we're all probably familiar with. It's kind of the lingering aftertaste of coffee. So one thing that you can taste. So you can see that to focus on the present moment and to note and name all of those things, it really brings us in the present moment. We have to be here to acknowledge all of those senses. So as a review, it's a really good, again, tool to use at any point of your day. It'd be cool to try it outside too. But again, that was 5 things you can see. Think in order of difficulty. 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. And then through that process, we are here in the moment, not thinking about the future, what's uncertain, or dwelling in the past, what has passed. We are right here in the present moment where we have control. So for this last minute or two, go ahead and close your eyes. And maybe, barring the sight or the sense of sight, and of course, if you need to open your eyes to bring yourself back to this moment, that's fine. The practice of meditation is not so much the absence of thought, but the practice of stillness. So by noticing and naming maybe those senses, that is a tool to, again, help us to meditate and be in each and every moment. I'll take a few breaths. Noticing if you are now thinking, or if you have a thought, and try to bring it back again to your senses. Open your eyes if you need to. And then close them so we maybe shut off the sense that is maybe most distracting. And we'll take maybe 3 more inhales. Maybe an open mouth exhale, just a sigh of relief. 2 more big inhales, fill belly, rib cage, collarbone. And then an open mouth exhale without collapsing forward. Keep a nice tall upright spine. 1 more time, 1 big inhale. And an open mouth exhale. And you can blink your eyes open. I'll take my palms to heart center and bow my head. Namaste. Thank you all for being here. Okay, I will unmute all for now. If you are heading out, goodbye and thank you.
Bye, Ally. Thank you. I enjoyed that.
Oh, good.
Great.
Good.
Thank you, Ally.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks, Ally.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ally.
Thank you, Ally.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye,
Have a great
everybody.
Sunday.